Hey everyone, this week we are going to finish up the Sermon on the Mount. We're going to take it a little out of order so that we can have a Thanksgiving appropriate thought on that day. So today we're going to talk about judgment. Don't judge and you won't be judged. You'll receive the same judgment you give. Whatever you deal out will be dealt to you. Why do you look at the splinter that's in your brother or sister's eye but don't notice the log in your own eye? How can you say to your brother or sister, well, let me take the splinter out of your eye when there's a log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your eye, and then you'll see clearly to take the splinter out of your brother or sister's eye. Sometimes you hear people saying basically like, you can't criticize anything anyone else does, right? Because that's judging, and we're not supposed to do that. Well, my response to that is, well, it's not what Jesus does, so maybe we'll miss what he's saying here. Even tomorrow, you're going to see what he says about seeing the fruits of people's actions. And that doesn't make sense with that statement either. At least personally, if I'm saying or if I'm doing something that really hurts someone else, you can tell me about that. Now, how you tell me is kind of important. That's, I think, what we'll talk about today. The truth is we don't want a world where everybody just does whatever they want and nobody says anything about it. It's kind of like a negative golden rule, which Jesus will say in a few verses, right? You don't talk about my problems and I won't talk about yours. Deal? I don't think that's what he means. Jesus is not trying to feed our desire to be defensive. What he wants us to do is rethink how we look at other people's problems and our own. See, we tend to pick on things in other people that we're struggling with, the problems we're dealing with, right? The term for that is projection, right? So that's what the splinter and the log are really about. We want to focus on that instead of ourselves. Sometimes we do that intentionally because we know our own problems. Sometimes it's unconscious and we're just projecting without even thinking about it. The main problem that Jesus is talking about here is hypocrisy, right? And you talk about who Jesus criticized, it was religious hypocrites. Not quote-unquote sinners. So if you want to help someone with a problem, acknowledge how you have the same problem and are trying to deal with it in your life. Right? To say to someone, well, you're a racist, but I'm not. So right, that's not going to be a very effective conversation starter. But to say, you know what, we all probably have blind spots when it comes to race, and here's how I'm dealing with mine. That could actually go somewhere. It's the same with any problem. It's always measure for measure, though, right? What we give is what we're going to get. A harsh accusation is almost always met with the same right back at you, as good as it might feel to give that to somebody in the moment. Instead, let's give each other the grace that we all need to grow.